Welcome to the webinar. You have entered as an attendee in listen-only mode.
Well, hi, welcome everybody. This is a real honor here. We have with Neil Sperling and with the financial markets giving us the opportunity to talk about a few things here. This is Kurt Nolde with Protective Life, and on the phone with me I have Dana Brown, my internal wholesaler, and she'll be doing part of this presentation, and Ben Stunkel, who's also works with us at Protective. We're going to focus on a couple of issues today. One is a new product that's coming out from Protective. We won't spend a lot of time on that. And the second thing that we would like to focus on is sort of our Velocity program. This is our electronic options for policy submission and delivery. And it's really timely right now that we're doing this, because I think in the situation that we're in right now, these have become a lot more popular. A couple things that I wanted to start with Protective before we go into this product is just so that, for those that aren't real, comfortable with Protective or haven't had a long history with us, I just thought I'd give you a few numbers to show you roughly the size of the company. We have over 11 million policyholders in force, and another stat that just, is kind of awesome to me is we have 985 billion of life insurance in force, so we're almost at $1 trillion, and we're hoping to get there, by the end of the year or first part of next year. And we pay 6.2 billion a year last year in claims, and that's just pretty much what we click off paying off every year. So it's really a very big, powerful, strong company, and financially we're as strong as it gets. And I really like being with this company right now in these times. And if you sell Protective, you're going to be with a company that pays their death claims, and we do not sell these blocks of business off, which is a good thing to be right now. And especially if you look at, what Protective has done over the last, 30 some years, we've made over 50 acquisitions, and we've seen all of these books of business and all these blocks and all these things that get sold, and then all of a sudden, somebody else has to pay the death claims. It's really good to sell a policy with somebody who is the company that is doing the acquiring, and not the companies that are going to be acquired. So with that, I'd like to start with a little bit on the Protective Life Assurance product. And this is a new GUL that we have coming out, and you'll see on the next slide here, Dana, that we it really kind of focused it to fit in our portfolio and maybe a hole that we kind of had. If you look at our products, we have the Classic Choice Term product, which is a low-cost product, term insurance. Not a lot of bells and whistles to that product. Then we have a Custom Choice UL, which is a term UL product, and that has really good conversion options and some other stuff that are available that make it a little bit more of a value-based term product. This Protective Lifetime Assurance product will be our low-cost GUL product, and it's going to compete very competitively in the, when you start looking at the price-sensitive sales. And we'll still have our Protective Advantage Choice product around, which is more of a value-based GUL. It works a little better in other areas, and we'll go through that in a second here. And then we have our index product, which is really, I like to call it a GUL with indexing strategy, but it's an indexed GUL that focuses on death benefit protection and not cash accumulation. And if you look at any of the protection type products that are out there, the death benefit driven products, Protective has a portfolio that's going to be very strong going forward, and it already is strong. And this just adds a lot of value to our product portfolio. This product will be coming out sometime in mid-April. Please look for that from Neil and the people up at the financial markets. They'll be, promoting this, I'm sure, when it comes out. A couple things on this product that are kind of unique on this is that the minimum age you can dial the guarantee down to is going to be 90, and there's no rolling target on it. One of the things that's really been successful on this product, and then a lot of people are liking this as we're sort of pre-rolling this out and building up some momentum on the product, is this new return of premium rider. This return of premium rider will allow you to get 25% of your premiums paid are going to be available beginning of policy year 11. So after they get through year 10, they will have, at any time, they can get 25% of their premiums back. That's pretty good compared to a lot of other return premium writers are out there that usually have to wait like 20 years, and yeah, you get 50% of it back, but it's typically a window of like 60 days, or there's some, there's different options out there, but that's kind of typically how those return premium writers work. This new return of premium writer will allow you, once you get past that 10th year, at any time after that, there's no window, you can just get 25% of your premiums back. So it's kind of a nice feature. Next slide. We will have all of our same riders available. One rider that's not on here that we're going to be having also at issue is our Extend Care, and that's our chronic illness rider. Will also be added to this product. Next slide, Dana. This product will also be available for conversion, which is really another, I guess, feather in the cap of this product, because I think we'll see a lot of conversions into this lower cost product as we look at some of these conversions that'll happen of the protective products that we have out there. Next one, Dana. This shows you kind of where our product's going to fit in our own portfolio. We're not trying to go too much into the other carriers just yet, but if you see where this product will fit, it'll be more in that level pay scenario. Ideal for the no lapse guarantees that you dial between 90 and 121. And because we don't have a modal factor, if they pay monthly on this product, it should be number one on the spreadsheet, or very close to the top in almost every scenario. So if anybody's going to do monthly bank drafts into this product should end up being probably the least cost one out there, or very close to it. It has limited flexibility, though, because of some of the way we price this product, and it doesn't work really well if they skip premiums or miss a premium later on. It really kind of hurts their guarantee, or if they live past their guarantee, it can be really expensive for the clients. The Advanced Choice is still going to be very strong, and I like that product because it's going to work well in our single pays and our 1035s and our short pay scenarios. It's ideal for no lapse guarantees between 90 and 105. It also works really well if you stress test. So if you're worried about clients that may or may not pay their premiums on time in the future, and they may have to skip premiums at some point in the future, this product will perform substantially better than the other one, and it will also perform towards the top of the market. So you really have to kind of pick which product you're looking for with your client and what fits the scenario that you're looking at. And that greater flexibility really works well. The post-level premiums are very competitive in that Advanced Choice compared to some of the other ones that are out there, like the lifetime assurance even. And that product will remain very strong. The Indexed really works well as a GUL alternative too, and it's also a really good no lapse guarantee option as well. So the next slide here, we can see kind of how this product is going to compete. I just picked one that is out there a lot, that's being shown a lot. We have hundreds of these slides, and there's a lot of them that we win, and there's some of them that we're in 4th or 5th, but we're going to be in that top 5 across the board, and probably somewhere in that 2 to 3 for most sales, and we'll win our share. This is one that's quoted a lot, a MLH50 preferred 1 million for a lot of the quoting engines, and you'll see that we are right there at the very top, very close on this, and it should be very competitive. A couple things on the illustrations. No signature is going to be required, but we do need an illustration with every application. And I would suggest, we just not really show the post-level premiums, because that's a kind of a sticker shock. And with that, we'll open it up for some questions at the end here, but I do want to turn it over to Dana to start talking about some of our electronic options that we have available. And it's one of the things that I've seen in this time frame that we're in right now is that these have become very, very competitive, or very, very important. And we have a process available that allows us to go from submission to commission all electronically. And Dana's going to walk through this here. And I think this is something that is real timely. So I'll turn it over to you, Dana.
All right. Thank you very much for your time today. just basically, COVID-19, of course, is what everybody's mind is at right now, where, trying to work and be able to submit applications quickly. In our program today, we're going to talk about velocity. On the phone with me today is Ben Stunkel, and you'll notice we'll kind of take a tag team approach. I'll kind of reach out. He'll give some little nuggets of wisdom for this velocity program that I won't talk about. So with proceeding forward, just wanting to talk about this a little bit, this slide right here, which actually it looks incidentally like the Dunkin' Donut app. But basically what we're looking at is everybody is now expecting to deliver things now, okay? It's no longer is it a nice to have. When we had started this program, EasyAcc Telelife, several years ago, it really was like, oh, that's great that you have that, not really pushing the fact that now we're in a situation where we need to keep the business moving, and this has now become an expectation. So just a little thing to set up the velocity program. Let me get here. Okay, so what we're going to talk about in our bulk of time today is our EasyAcc drop ticket platform, Telelife, what that really means, the Protective Life Underwriting Solutions, the PLUS program, what that is, ESignature, and electronic policy delivery. Okay, so to kind of give you a little background statistics, is when we receive paper apps, bottom line is our not in good order rate is pretty high. It's about 69%. When we use our electronic process system, it reduces the NIGO rate to 5%. So that's a couple of reasons why, hey, this is why we want to do this. Now with our EasyAcc platform, which you can always reach out to your financial markets wholesaler. They can direct you on where to go. You guys right now are using iGo, which is the iPipeline app, and you're also using our drop ticket link. So you're using both. The bottom line is we can use it for term and we can use it for our permanent products. Okay, why we like it? It reduces cycle time, and especially in the times that we're in right now with COVID-19, it just kind of fits perfectly of trying to get the process and these applications through quickly. So this is kind of why we like this platform. In this time, it becomes more proficient, especially when agents are not willing to meet with clients right now, or it could be the other way around. It could be clients just not comfortable meeting with their agents. So, all right, so let's talk about the Telelife process. So what will happen is the agent will drop a ticket, then, and this is one thing that in the years that I've been with Protective that I really like about this system, is that the Telelife team at Protective is the ones who actually schedule the interview. So there are people, okay? So as soon as you drop a ticket, you have the ability to actually call our 800 number. As long as you've got a policy number, that's the ticket number, we can actually get that phone interview done as soon as that ticket is dropped. Now, personally, I give it a few minutes just to make sure that it comes over to our Telelife team, just because we have systems in place. So 10, 15 minutes, it's typically over there. So you have the ability, which a lot of companies don't have access to do, is where the client can actually call and complete the interview while you're right there. Or if you're not there, they can call at their convenience. The Telelife team will ask the medical questions. Then they will also schedule an exam if needed. They will also order records. And then if any additional information is needed, they'll also order that. Okay, Ben, I'm just going to tap you on the back for a second. Is there anything I've missed or anything you want to point out of, talking about the Telelife team?
Thanks, Dana. Yeah, I just want to highlight a couple things Dana mentioned. So again, all of these interviews, our entire Telelife team is made up of Protective employees. They're all set up to work from home right now, fully functional, so we're not having to worry about potential outages with a third-party provider for that. And then like Dana mentioned, after you submit a ticket, Protective takes care of everything else. We order any requirement that might be needed. We take care of all that administrative work. And even though we're ordering the exam or potentially an APS, we do give you access to all of those documents through our website. So you don't have to worry about calling to request it. You can go straight to our website, get lab results, get exam results, get copies of everything that we have on file. Dana?
Okay. All right. And then, like I said, if for some reason, though, a client doesn't want to call and reach out to our TeleLive team, we'll call them, okay? And we will initiate the call within 24 hours trying to reach out to them. The other thing I want to touch base just for a second on is the questioning. So one of the cool things about it being with Protective is that if we're not quite addressing a question correctly, it's very easy for us to change the flow in the process with our internal people. If you're trying to use a third-party company, it's very difficult to change the different questioning that comes up. So just some benefits to us having and owning our own process. We've owned this process forever. For many years, as long as I've been here, and even longer. So I've been here 11 years. So this is a system we're used to. The questioning, I know we had something come up with aviation where we weren't quite addressing the question appropriately. It was very easy for us to go and change the questioning rather than having to go to a third party. So just that was something I kind of lived through with aviation questions. So anyway, good process there. Now, a couple of things. So when we talk about velocity, we put a name on it. Like I said, this system's been in place for many, many years. We put a nice name on it because of all the different digital enhancements and capabilities that we have. But when they went and changed the name, basically, they decided to add some components. And this is something that we're actively looking at increasing technology as we go through the years. But one of the things that was newest to me was the text message reminders. And I'll tell you why I like this feature the most is the fact is I'm a person who doesn't answer the phone to telemarketers, or if I think you're a telemarketer. By doing the text message reminders, if the client is comfortable enrolling in that, they can reach out and say, hey, we're here to schedule you. Reminder, your exam is X date. So that we have that capability built in there. And for the future, which Ben might talk about in just a minute, we might have capabilities later down the road that if it's a simple question that we just need to ask for confirmation, we might be able to reach out to the client directly at some point. Right now, we're not there. But if it's a simple question like, we tried to get your doctor's information. Is this the correct doctor? Because they can't pull an APS record. Something that's really close to them that might be a simple thing that we can kind of take that off the agent's hands of getting the proper information. We're not there yet, but that's something for forward-looking thoughts to this process. Again, we already talked about the direct transfer, the ability to do that. Once COVID-19 is over and agents are more in clients' homes, the client and the agent can be there at the same time, and the agent could get them on the phone and just have the client talk to them there if they're comfortable. So that's an option. One of the other things is for our old school agents out there, they tweaked the EasyAcc worksheet. Okay, so last year they went and they did a paper application and they streamlined it so that if you have a term application, which we'll talk about the Plus program in just a couple of minutes, that if you decide to go through accelerated underwriting, the ticket sheet that was created allows you to be able to do that also through paper. So we have that. If for some reason I use the EasyAcc worksheet if I'm in with clients and I don't necessarily want to do the technology piece in front of them, you have the ability for this 2-page sheet that the agent just needs to sign, and you can send in an application technically that way. Most people want to do the electronic, but that's something that they added was the EasyAcc worksheet when they started to do the Plus program. The other thing is voice signature. So we've been able to e-sign for a couple years, but now we've switched to voice signature. And Ben, I'm going to probably tap you on the back for this one. But voice signature has really helped us as far as getting everything that we need quickly, but also the throughput rate is much higher when they do voice signature. And Ben, I'm going to let you talk about that for a minute. You there, Ben?
Yes, I am. Thanks, Dana. Just a couple of points on voice signature. Like Dana said, we rolled it out last year. It allows us to have a once and done interview signature process. So we're not going to have to do an interview and then wait for an application to come back. And sometimes, in fact, a client might not sign the application, might get cold feet after the interview. So we take that case directly from the interview process into the underwriting process. We also reduce the NIGO rate, the not in good order rate, to 0, because we're applying the customer's signature correctly on every form where it's required. And then finally, when we rolled the process out, we weren't sure how popular or accepted it would be, but we found that it is nearly universally accepted. 94% of customers are voice signing their applications, which is really a revolution for our tele-life process. And again, it's just another digital capability that we have to enable the process to go more quickly, more smoothly on the way to getting an application turned into a policy.
Thanks, Ben. Okay, so let's talk about the Plus solution. Now, first of all, I just want to say this to you. I do not sell this program up front because here's the thing. When we use our accelerated underwriting program for our term products, this is only available for our term products, it basically allows us to go through, in the right situations, fluidless underwriting with certain criteria. I want to tell you that I don't sell it up front because we have a 1% holdback because we're using still street products. We're not using accelerated underwriting products that are priced with a different mortality. So I just want to kind of speak to that a little bit. So with the certain criteria, which those pieces are available, you can reach out to your financial markets wholesaler for the Plus criteria. I wouldn't sell it up front to the client. I really want it to be successful. So I would say to you, when they go through this process and if they're eligible for the Plus program, then if it goes in and out in 3 business days, then it's a nice surprise and successful for you as the agent and successful for the clients as well, because they're not expecting it. So that's kind of how I've always positioned this program. I really, my stand hasn't changed in the last several years that we've had this program. So Ben, any thoughts to the Plus program before I move on?
I'll just emphasize again that it's only available through our tele-life process. So if you're going to be submitting a term or a custom choice application to Protective, make sure it's coming in through our tele-life process so that customers have an opportunity to qualify for this Plus program. Because right now, the ability to get a policy without having an exam, without having an APS ordered, is a real value add, especially with the social distancing circumstances we're all living with.
Yes, awesome. Thank you. And again, custom choice, classic choice. One thing, because before I moved and talk about the ESignature for about 2 seconds, I want to say this to you. As far as that product that Kurt talked about, the lifetime assurance product, that will also be available on the EasyAcc platform. So I want to tell you, yes, term is out there and most people are doing the term applications through this process, but our permanent products are out there as well. So just whether you do iPipeline, any third party, anything like that, or you're using our EasyApp links, our permanent products are available too, okay? One thing I want to say, if you're using iPipeline though, you cannot do the index product on that. You do need to use our links through Protective or the EasyApp worksheet. So ESignature is another way that we can go and get documents. The only thing we can't accept ESignature is 1035 forms. We accept Adobe Sign, DocuSign, eSign, and paperless solutions as the carriers basically for eSign. We know that voice signature actually gets us a lot farther as far as, from submission to the end to commission, which is like what we like to say. But the ESignature process is available as well. Ben, any thoughts more about the ESignature that I'm missing?
Yeah, just to highlight, we do use ESignature in our process when we can't use voice signature, but even if you're still filling out a traditional long form application, we do accept ESignatures on all of those documents. Like Damon said, the only form we don't accept ESignature on is the 1035, because a lot of carriers don't accept ESignatures on those. But if you're sending a full application package of Protective or just a questionnaire, something that comes up during underwriting, all of those can be e-signed.
Okay. All right. And so electronic policy delivery now, we've had this process for quite a long time. And I do want to say this, if you're having a situation right now, even for paper that you're having problems getting with a client, even your paper applications going on right now with Protective, if you need to flip these to EPD, if you let financial markets know, or financial markets will get in touch with me if you need to do this. We can always switch your paper apps at this point to EPD just based on the whole social distancing thing. But we have this capability. We've had it for several years for electronic policy delivery, where we can deliver the application to the clients much faster. The clients aren't put on a time frame. They're not having to meet with anybody. They can see, well, of course they can if they want to, but they basically can view their policy 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They estimate it shaves off about 5 days faster than paper delivery. I use this system a lot with situations where we need to get delivery requirements and the agent feels they need to get it done quickly. So we switch sometimes policies to EPD to make that easier. It's no difference in the underwriting process. For us, it's the same as if you were to do a full-on paper app. So EPD is available for both processes. All documents, if you need to pull down the images, we keep those out there for a certain period of time after it's been issued. So, and Ben, I might need you to speak to that because I don't know how long. I want to say it's 30 days, but I could be wrong. All documents are out there too if you need to pull those down. But it just expedites policy delivery to your client. And like I said, the more I've seen a huge adoption, especially lately with this. We've had the technology out for quite a while. It's gotten smoother, the EPD process. And how it kind of works too is you're not involved in the process. So the bottom line is it's reviewed by your brokerage general agency, which would be financial markets. Then it goes to you as the agent to review it, make sure it looks correct before it's even turned over to the client. So Ben, did I miss anything on that for EPD?
So Dana, on that time frame, the full completed signed policy is available for download for the agent for 20 days after the policy goes in force. And
Okay.
for the customer, like you said, they have 24/7 access for as long as they hold the policy. They can access it anytime for the life of the contract. Just want to also mention, Dana had touched on the fact that we do offer this process not only for electronic applications, but also for paper business. So any business that you have in-house right now that you think electronic delivery might be a good option for, just let us know. All we need is a customer email address, and we can make that happen. We also have the ability to set up all of your policies for electronic policy delivery. We've been getting a lot of those requests now to kind of put everything into that process, at least on a short-term basis while we have the social distancing going on. So if you have any questions about electronic delivery, please let us know.
Yes. All right. And just to wrap it up real quick, and then I'll turn it over to Neil for questions or anything that pops up in the box here for questioning. Sorry about that, guys. I am on a phone queue too. We've got our EasyAcc drop ticket platform. We've got our EasyAcc worksheet, our Telelife system. It's our protective employees, most importantly, so we can control that process of questioning. We've got our Plus underwriting program for those term applications when it fits the right criteria for the clients, which actually I see the handouts are in here. So if you can pull down the eligibility checklist, I'm looking at it. So you can see if that your client fits in that criteria. Still sell it on the back end. I wouldn't sell it up front just because we want it to be a great surprise and a great experience for everyone. ESignature is available, and then of course electronic policy delivery. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Neil to see if there's how he wants to do the questioning, and I'll leave it open for a minute.
Yeah, so if anybody has any questions, they can raise their hand using the GoToWebinar control panel, or you can type in your question through the question button in your GoToWebinar control panel. If you raise your hand, we'll be able to unmute your line if you have a microphone on your computer or you're connected through a telephone line. Just a comment before we go to any questions. There's only a handful of companies out there that have really embraced technology for the front end, the middle, and the back end, and then even for client servicing. And Protective Life is one of those companies that I guess I like to say they just have it figured out. So if you want to drop a ticket, aka do that short form little application on our website, Protective Life takes care of the rest. There's no difference in commission. They contact your client. They ask them the painful health questions that none of us really like asking folks. We like to sell things. We don't like to uncover all their past transgressions through those health and lifestyle questions that we have to ask. So, let Protective Life do it. They do a really nice job. And with the protective velocity, when I was first exposed to the new term protective velocity, I was a little bit confused. What really is this? Really what it comes down to, folks, is a completely streamlined process. You can drop a ticket, aka go on the website and just put in a very limited amount of information on their Easy app. Protective Life takes it from there. Then we take a look at that Plus program that Dana was talking about here. Normally, your cases are going to require fluids, paramed, blood, and urine. With the Plus program, if they fit the criteria, they're going to sail right through with no fluids. And Dana, what would you say your percentage of those clients that maybe would qualify on the checklist that you guys provide? What percentage of those folks would actually sail through with Plus underwriting? Is that something you guys take
Ben
metrics
is going
on?
to know that metrics better than I do. I'm hoping Ben, he's been on so many of these. How are you guys? It's kind of a skewed number because of how we look at the data, but Ben, do you have a number you could give them?
So it really depends. We see a pretty wide variance depending on the agency that's sending us the business. You have some agencies who do a lot of pre-screening and send cases which kind of fall within the agent face amount guidelines, fall within a lot of the underwriting guidelines. So we see a pretty high throughput. Overall, the throughput for the entire program is around 20% at this point. But again, it varies a lot depending on what type of business is being sent through.
So about 1 in 5 is what I hear there. And, if I had the chance of winning the lottery by purchasing a lottery ticket on a 1 in 5, I think I'd buy it. Pretty good opportunity there. And in your go-to webinar control panel, you should see some handouts. One of those include the Plus eligibility checklist. Here's a question that came in, and this would be for Kurt. It says, I may have missed it. What is the minimum face amount for the new lifetime assurance UL?
Now, the product will go down to $50,000. So it is
all
a little
rate
bit
classes?
in that market.
Standard and below.
Standard and below, yeah. Standard and below, that's right. I've got it right here.
Okay. So, yeah, good question there. If there's any other questions, go ahead and type it in your question box or raise your hand. And while we're closing here, I don't see any other questions. Thanks so much for this opportunity to learn a little bit more about the streamlined process during this tough time. And guys, this is a great time just to contact your clients, say hi, see how they're doing. They're going to ask you about life insurance. This is the time. They're going to ask you about life insurance opportunities. Maybe might want to make sure their beneficiaries are up to date, offer some services, but just a great time to get in contact with your client. And if they do need some additional insurance, you can drop a ticket with Protective Life on the Financial Markets website. So with that, I don't see any other questions. Dana, Kurt, Ben?
Thank you so much for your time today, guys. And like I said, reach out to Financial Markets. They can get in contact with me with any questions you have. If they can't field them, I'm certainly here for your help, guidance, whatever you need. So thank you very much.
Yeah, and thank you, Neil, for this opportunity. We appreciate it. And Neil is exactly right. We're seeing this across the country, that this is a great time to talk to clients about life insurance. It is at the forefront of their minds, and people are moving on these taking action right now and buying life insurance. So this is a great time to be promoting the protective velocity and life insurance at this point. Thanks.
Dana, forgive me, I didn't ask you previously. Are we able to distribute this recording?
Yes, you can on this. They were all complied with slides. I can't talk today, but okay. Yes. Good.
So if you want to share this with anybody else in your office, this will be posted on our weekly training sessions email that you'll receive on Saturday morning. So thanks again for your time, everyone, and hope you have a great day.